How MrBeast uses the 1% rule to dominate. You are trying to change your entire life in one day. This is exactly why you keep failing. You burn out and you quit. Today, we look at the mind of MrBeast to learn the ultimate framework for success. The obsession with getting just 1% better every single day. Everyone wants the massive victory. You want fluent English, the dream job, and the perfect life. And you want it by next month. So, you build a crazy routine. You study for 5 hours. You follow it for 3 days, and then you collapse. You are fighting human nature. When Jimmy Donaldson, known as MrBeast, started his journey, he didn't aim to be the biggest creator in a week. He didn't wake up and become a superstar. He aimed to make his next video just a tiny bit better than his last. One day, he improved the audio. The next week, he fixed the lighting. The next month, he changed the pacing. He repeated this cycle of micro improvements for years. That is the true anatomy of an empire. Most English learners are waiting for a miracle. They wait for a magic pill that will make them fluent overnight. But there is no magic. There is only math. Today, we are going to apply this exact science to your mind and your language. If you feel stuck, it is not because you lack talent. It is because you are looking at the mountain instead of the next step. So, before we fix your English, we must understand why the big leap is actually a trap. Chapter 1. The Overnight Success Illusion. Here is the surprising truth. Most people think MrBeast is a lucky genius. They see the millions of views. They see the huge stunts. They think he just uploaded a video and became famous. But that is an illusion. Jimmy Donaldson started making videos when he was 13 years old. For many years, he had almost 0 views. He didn't have a professional studio. He didn't have expensive cameras. He was just a kid in his bedroom. He worked for thousands of hours with no reward. Think about your English journey for a moment. Maybe you have studied for 2 years. Maybe you have studied for 5 years. You feel frustrated because you are not fluent yet. You look at native speakers and you feel small. You think, they are so lucky. Why is it so hard for me? But you are only seeing the result. You are not seeing the thousands of hours they spent speaking as children. You are not seeing the mistakes they made. MrBeast spent years talking to a camera that nobody watched. He was obsessed. He would spend all day, every day, thinking about YouTube. He wasn't looking for a viral moment. He was looking for a way to stay in the game. Many English learners quit because they don't see results in the first month. They study hard for 30 days. Then, they try to speak to a foreigner. They forget a word. They make a grammar mistake. And then they say, I am not good at this. I will never learn. But Jimmy didn't quit when his videos got 10 views. He didn't say, I am not a YouTuber. He realized that the overnight success is a lie. It is a story we tell to make ourselves feel better about being lazy. The truth is much more boring. The truth is consistency. Later in this video, I will show you why your brain actually hates big goals. But for now, I want you to change your perspective. Stop looking for the big breakthrough. Stop waiting for the day you wake up and suddenly know English. That day does not exist. There is only today. And today, You are exactly where Jimmy was in the beginning. You are in the dark. You are practicing when no one is watching. So now we understand that success takes time. But how do we actually move forward without burning out? The answer is a shift in your philosophy. Chapter 2. The Micro-Improvement Philosophy. Most learners misunderstand this. They think they need a massive overhaul. They buy a big course. They download 5 apps. They say, "I will study grammar for 3 hours every night." But then, Tuesday comes. You are tired from work. You have chores. You look at that 3-hour goal and you feel heavy. So you do nothing. Jimmy Donaldson had a different plan. He didn't try to make the world's best video on his first day. He had a philosophy of micro-improvement. He asked himself, how can I make this next video 1% better? Maybe he improved the thumbnail. Maybe he edited the first 10 seconds a little faster. Maybe he spoke a bit louder. Just 1%. If you improve by 1% every day, you are not just getting better. You are compounding. In 1 year, you will be 37 times better than you are today. Think about that. You don't need a new brain. You just need a new target. Stop trying to be fluent. It is too big. It is too scary. Instead, try to learn 1 comma rule today. Just 1. Or, learn how to say 1 phrase perfectly. Maybe today you learn how to use the word actually in a sentence. That is it. If you do that, you have won the day. This is a pattern interrupt for your brain. Your brain loves small wins. When you finish a 3-hour study session, you feel exhausted. But when you master 1 tiny thing, you feel powerful. You feel like a winner. Most English students are perfectionists. They want to speak with 0 mistakes. But Jimmy wasn't a perfectionist. He was an improver. He knew his videos weren't perfect. He just wanted them to be better than the last one. You must give yourself permission to be imperfect. You only need the courage to be 1% better than you were yesterday. If yesterday you couldn't say hello without stuttering, and today you say hello clearly, you are winning. But here is the catch. To get better by 1%, you have to know what that 1% is. You cannot improve what you do not measure. So now we understand the philosophy. But how do we know if we are actually growing? The secret is in the data. Chapter 3. The obsession with data. Most learners believe grammar is the problem. They think they just need more rules. But here is the truth. The problem is not your grammar. The problem is that you are guessing. You are studying blindly. Jimmy Donaldson is not just a creator. He is a data scientist. He doesn't just hope a video does well. He studies the numbers. He looks at the click-through rate. He looks at the retention graph. He sees exactly where people stop watching. He doesn't get angry at the data. He uses it to fix the next video. You must track your daily efforts brutally. If you say, "I studied today," that is not enough. What did you study? How many minutes? How many new words did you actually use in a sentence? If you don't measure it, you cannot improve it. Think about a professional athlete. They don't just run. They track their heart rate. They track their speed. They track their sleep. You are an athlete of the English language. Maybe this has happened to you. You study for a week. You feel good. Then, you have a bad day. You feel like you know nothing. You feel like you are back at zero. This is a lie your brain tells you. If you have data, you can see the truth. You can look at your log and say, wait. Last month, I only knew 10 verbs. Today I know 50. The data protects you from your emotions. Emotions are a roller coaster. Data is a straight line up. Later in this video, I will give you a tool to track your progress. But for now, I want you to start being honest. Stop saying I'm trying. Start saying, I practiced for 15 minutes today. Jimmy spent years analyzing why people click. He didn't care about his feelings. He cared about the truth. Are you brave enough to see the truth about your English? Are you ready to stop guessing? When you track your work, you find your flaws. And once you see a flaw, you can kill it. But there is one specific thing you must analyze if you want to speak fluently. It is something most students are afraid to do. Chapter 4. Analyzing your own output. There is a strange reaction in the brain when speaking English. When you speak, you hear a version of yourself that is perfect. But when you listen to a recording, you hear the truth. Most learners are terrified of this. They hate the sound of their own voice in English. But Jimmy Donaldson didn't get better by watching other people's videos. He got better by watching his own videos over and over. He looked for the moments where he was boring. He looked for the moments where his energy dropped. If you want to speak fluently, you must become your own coach. You must record your spoken English and find one flaw to fix. Is it your deeth sound? Is it the way you say the letter R? Is it the long pauses between your words? You cannot fix what you cannot hear. Think about that for a moment. If you never listen to yourself, you are practicing your mistakes. You are making your bad habits stronger every single day. Here is a mini challenge for you right now. I want you to be brave. Pause this video. Open the voice recorder on your phone. Record your voice for just 10 seconds. Talk about what you ate for breakfast or what you see in your room. Then, listen to it. Do it now. Welcome back. How did that feel? Maybe it felt uncomfortable. Maybe you noticed that you speak too slowly. Or maybe you notice that you repeat the word too many times. That is great news. You just found your 1% for tomorrow. Jimmy didn't fix every problem in one video. He found one flaw and he killed it. Then he moved to the next one. If you do this every day, your English will transform. In 30 days, you will have 30 recordings. You will hear the progress with your own ears. You will see that you are not the same person you were a month ago. Fluent speakers are not fearless. They are simply people who have looked at their mistakes and fixed them. But doing this alone is hard. It is lonely. Even MrBeast knew he couldn't do it by himself. He knew that to grow 10 times faster, he needed a team. Not a team of employees, but a team of minds. So, how do you find people who push you to be better? The answer is the most powerful tool in the world for growth. Chapter 5. The power of the mastermind. Maybe you know this moment. You tell a friend you want to be fluent in English. They smile and say, "That's nice." But they don't understand. They don't see the fire in your eyes. They don't understand why you wake up early to study. They are not obsessed with getting better. And that is why you feel alone. Jimmy Donaldson realized something very early. He knew he couldn't learn everything by himself. So he did something that changed his life. He found 2 or 3 people as obsessed as he was. They were small YouTubers. They didn't have millions of views yet, but they had the same hunger. They spent 1,000 days in a row on Skype. They talked for 10 hours a day. They analyzed every thumbnail. They shared every secret. They looked at what worked and what failed. This is the power of the mastermind. If you are surrounded by people who are lazy, you will be lazy. If you are surrounded by people who complain, you will complain. But if you find a small group of people who are 1% better every day, you will fly. Think about your environment. Who are you talking to? Who are you sharing your English goals with? You don't need 1,000 friends. You need 2 or 3 people who will tell you the truth. People who will listen to your recording and say, "Your grammar is good, but your energy is low. Fix it." That kind of honesty is worth more than any textbook. You need an accountability partner. Someone who asks you at 9:00 p.m., "Did you do your 1% today?" When you have a mastermind, you don't just learn from your own mistakes. You learn from their mistakes, too. You grow 3 times faster because you have 3 brains working for you. Later in this video, I will show you how to start your own 1% log. But first, you must realize that this is not a sprint. MrBeast didn't stop after his first viral video. He didn't say, "I am finished." He kept going. He knew that the real power is not in the jump. The real power is in the math of the long game. And the math of English is very simple. Chapter 6. The long game. There is a strange math to success. Most people overestimate what they can do in 1 week, but they underestimate what they can do in 1 year. Jimmy Donaldson didn't become MrBeast by being the fastest. He became MrBeast by being the last person to quit. He trusted the math of compounding effort. When you start your 1% journey, the first month feels slow. You learn a new word. You fix 1 sound. You record your voice, but you don't feel fluent yet. You look in the mirror and you see the same person. This is the valley of disappointment. This is where 90% of English learners quit. They say, "I am working so hard, but nothing is changing." But they are wrong. Every time you choose to study for 10 minutes instead of watching TV, every time you fix 1 tiny mistake in your pronunciation, you are putting a penny in a glass jar. At first, the jar looks empty. You add another penny. Still empty. You do this for 100 days. Suddenly, the jar is half full. Then, something magical happens. The pennies start to multiply. That is the long game. You are not studying for tomorrow. You are studying for the person you will be in 12 months. MrBeast didn't see the result of his work for years. He just kept filling his jar. He knew that if he was 1% better every day, the world would eventually notice. And the world did notice. Fluent speakers are not better than you. They are just people who stayed in the game longer. They didn't stop when it was boring. They didn't stop when they felt slow. They trusted the process. Think about that for a moment. If you don't quit, you cannot lose. The only way to fail at English is to stop trying. So, here is your deliverable. I want you to start your own 1% micro improvement daily log. It is a simple piece of paper or a digital note. Write down one thing, just one, that you did better today. Today, I spoke clearly for 30 seconds. Today, I learned the difference between make and do. That is your data. That is your proof. When you see that list growing, you will feel a new kind of confidence. You will realize that you are not bad at English. You are just a work in progress. But there is one final thing you need to know. It is the reason why some people reach the top of the mountain and why others stay at the bottom forever. You are not stupid. You are not slow. You simply learned English the wrong way. For years, schools told you to memorize lists. They told you to pass tests. They made you afraid of making a single mistake. But look at Jimmy. He didn't wait for a teacher to tell him he was ready. He started before he was ready. He made mistakes in public. He failed over and over again, but he failed 1% better each time. You only need the courage to start. Right now, you might feel like your English is a broken machine, but you don't have to fix the whole machine today. You just have to tighten one screw. That is the secret weapon of the biggest mind on the internet. It is not genius. It is obsession. It is the refusal to stay the same. Think about why you want to speak English. Is it for your family? Is it for a better job? Is it because you want to show the world who you really are? That dream is possible. But it doesn't happen in a giant leap. It happens in the 10 minutes you spend practicing when you are tired. It happens in the moment you record your voice, even when you feel embarrassed. You have the power to dominate your goals. Trust the math. Trust the process. Trust yourself. If this lesson helped you study English differently, subscribe to Study English TV. We are here to help you grow 1% at a time. I want you to make a promise to yourself right now. Write in the comments, I will be 1% better today. When you write it, you commit to it. And if you want to take the next step, download the 1% Micro Improvement Daily Log in the description below. Start tracking your journey. Stop guessing and start growing. I will see you in the next video.